everyone, it's Scott. What I want to do today is I want to share a constructive criticism session that Joe Marshall and I just did with one of our Inner Circle members. All right, now what we did is we took a bunch of images that people submitted to us and we critiqued them on like a webinar, and then people can see what we were doing to the pictures to make them better, and we could talk about what's good, what's not good, what to avoid doing, and just how to make them a better shot with posing, composition, and that type of stuff. And I want to share this one with you because a lot of people do senior photography, or they want to, and this here can really help improve your images. So I just wanted to share this with you. Enjoy it, and if you have any questions, please let us know. And just sit back, relax, go through this, watch the video again and again, and when you go out there, you start taking images, think about these things that we're discussing. Also, in post-edit, when we start talking about cropping, how you can do this after you actually do the session or you capture the image. All right, so I'm going to stop talking now so you can enjoy the lesson. I'm going to cut right into where Joe and I started talking about this image. So we're gonna end with this one here, which is a great shot, I think. A couple of things we're gonna talk about with it though to make it better. Great color. I love the colors in the scene, but I love colors in that the girl has on. Really rich and vibrant, and this could, I guess, be a senior shot. I'm not sure if it was, but go ahead, Joe, and talk about it.
She's got an S curve here, which is, if you look at the top of the head, the body, and all the way down with a bended knee. Christy Brinkley used to be a favorite model for a lot of New York photographers because she posed herself in an S curve. She knew right away what they were looking for, and she could do her body and tilt, and no matter what she was wearing or what set they put her on, she automatically went into her S curve. So those are good compositional elements. The rule of thirds, S curves. There's a lot of different ones. Now, so this is a nice spot, and I told her, I said, you've got to use this park because it gives you some nice area coverage. But if we go to my crop one.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I'm noticing too, and before I go back, is, cutting in even to this tree.
Yes, I wanted a frame within a frame. When you see the original, you see the space past the tree. And now that's giving a whole new element. I wanted to tighten up the image to just her face. So I eliminated that extra grass and just had a nice, strong trunk line.
Right.
I
so
love
you can
her
see
S
that.
curve.
I mean, yeah, that right there. She still has the S curve. The tree has the S curve, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? And then when you cropped it, you cropped into the tree, giving it some type of framing on the left side there, and then also a nice anchor coming down through that she's leaning up against, and then you cropped above the knee, which, again, I think is another big one. You never want to crop below the knee. You want to crop above the knee, preferably up even a little bit higher like Joe did right here. I mean, everything is leading. I mean, I'm leading in right to the eyes, and then everything else supports the picture. So, I mean, a lot of neat elements here.
Well, I was torn because the original composition was basically fine. But what I want to stress is that portrait is the face. All these other things are great. I mean, a beautiful slim model, maybe 16 years old, out in the the nice scenic area. I vignetted the corners a little bit, got rid of some of that behind the trees so it went dark, brought out some of the colors in her skin a little more. But by cropping at the knee, I got the viewer's attention more drawn to the eye, and everything leads. That one hand wrapped around her hip, all the way, follow it up, and then follow the hair, and you're there at the face. I mean, we've got our diagonal. Anytime we can get a diagonal going from the bottom right to the top left, we're there.
Right,
So,
and she's got, I don't know what she used for a lens, but she has some pretty good shallow depth of field going. Probably if you had if you had the
well, I think I got Carol to get an 80 to 200 2.8, so she did buy a Nikon 80 to 200 2.8. Whether she used it here, I don't know. I could check with file info later, but so she does have the tools. But it's this is nice.
Yeah, I mean, the colors are awesome. Like I said, they're really rich and vibrant. And
blue, purple, and green, you can't do any,
Yeah, and then and then the tree just gives us some character. And then I think, like you said, with the crop now, it just really finishes that image off. And I just want people to see that, you can take that original image and you can say, yeah, that's a nice image. It looks pretty cool. And then you can go to the one that Joe worked on and you can say, okay, I can definitely see the difference. And now when I take these shots, I can either A, do it while I'm creating the image, or B, do it after in edits. I'd rather shoot the image a little bit wide maybe and then have the flexibility of doing the edit later and making it the way I want, rather than not being able to add to, like if you cropped up too high and you wanted to come down a little bit on her leg, but you didn't have that information there, you wouldn't be able to. So maybe just a little bit wide gives you a little bit more flexibility.
Well,
and I think that's what she did here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could have given a headshot and just gone to the shoulders and right to the head, but you'll find out that a lot of your customers and clients buy headshots, and they may only buy an 8x10. But by giving this, by shooting loose like she originally did, and then we could crop, we could come in and do a bust shot. We could cut above the elbows there, and that would be a nice picture. We can have that one come out as a proper portrait size. So she shot a little loose, and now we can find out what the customer wants. But here is a nice 16x20 because it's a landscape picture, and you show her at, 20 years from now, she's going to hopefully she has that figure, but she's going to say, once upon a time, I had a great figure. And I like that she used the tree. Here was a bent tree, and she went and did the flow of it. She posed her. So many people would stand in front of the tree or maybe go behind it, but Carol let her lean on a leaning tree. She worked with the environmental elements that were there.
Right, but, and people people thinking out there, well, I don't have a studio, I can't create these images. Here's a perfect example. Go to your local park. Go to a spot that you like that has great scenery. Here's a perfect example of using your surroundings and just being creative with what you have to work with. And this is a perfect example. This is an image that you could see being sold, to anyone in any area that has seniors, you know what I mean, and getting attention, because it's a great shot and it leads really well as far as being, drawing the attention into the eyes. It's just, to me, it's a great image. The colors are awesome. It'll get attention, and I would put this in the portfolio.
I'd love to see this on a canvas print or even the new metallic prints. They're gorgeous when you see metallics. I judged someplace one time and they had 6 metallic prints. I commented on it. Went back a next year later, there were 11 metallic. They figured out who the judge was, and everyone had metallic prints done. But H&H has really got some good metallic prints. You try to get some samples from them. But this is, I did pro-post work, dodging the corners, cropping, making the tree be my framing. I took this from a snapshot, and it really wasn't a snapshot, but people think of themselves, oh, I've got a snapshot, I'll use that. But when they see our portrait material, how we work a picture to make a portrait, we got to make them say, I got to go to a professional. And that's all we want you to do. We want them to see the reason for going to a professional. They don't want to shoot Carol's first image. And Carol knew that. That's why she asked me, what could I do for her?
Right. Okay. So I think that's going to wrap it up, Joe. We went on quite a while here. We've included a lot of tips and tricks and all that stuff. So, keep submitting the images. We're going to try to do more of these. Joe and I are still working out the kinks, obviously, as far as getting to meet online and being able to do these and switch screens.
And to present these, yes, to present these.
From your screen to my screen.
Hopefully we haven't scared anybody off, because our comments were gentle, but I think they were meaningful.
Yeah, no, I think, and there's a lot of tips in there for people, even just like this last one. And the one before this, just simply finding areas to frame in the shot with your surroundings, frame inside a frame. I think is big. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. Everybody go out there and, take some of these tips, use them. If you need to write these things down to remind yourself or whatever you have to do to use these. The easiest way to remember these is to use them. Go out there and say to yourself, I'm going to go try to find a tree that has a line that I can have my model lean on and model that line. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, play with this idea. Go out and find a tree that has this type of curve and have a model, work with this. Or find a framing device that you can frame, the shot in. Go out there and use these so you can start to become familiar with them, and then they start becoming part of your photography. And that's really how you're going to learn and how you're going to get better, is by going out there and trying this stuff.